Hey, I think I'm live. Let's see. Give enough volume. You hear me? I'm going to tune. I should probably tune before the live stream. I was scolded for that, not by any of you. So often when I get a really like snarky comment, let's see, I got one the other day. What was it? Almost all of my videos are set to approval. The comments I have to approve. Let's see if I have any being held for review. Yeah, 3 right now being held for review. Great video, quite a bit for some video. Oh, the tips for plane and slide. This was a great one. By 13 years of prepper, RJ Tilbury. He said, I lost my pinky finger in an industrial accident 4 years back. I feel lost. And I said, check out Django Reinhardt and be encouraged. He only had 2 fingers. And he said, thanks, I will. So that's cool that he saw my reply. Let's see, I know this video is old. Okay. We still had West Germany printed on the original heart. Yeah, it's really cool. But I got one the other day, and almost always when somebody sends a real snarky one. Okay, here's one here. This is the one, and this one automatically got approved. Because on my 7 tips for older beginners, for some reason I didn't set it that way, and it's never been set that way. So the comments automatically get approved on that one. So sometimes you'll get more snarky ones. If people see that the comments have to be approved, then they probably won't leave a snarky comment. But this one said, "You are a poor communicator. Waffle, waffle, waffle. Just teach people and shut up." It's like, how do you teach without talking? But anyway, I think he was thinking I was going to give here's how you play every song ever written, So I click on the name, Michael Cunnington, totally made up name. Channel has no content, no subscribers, no likes, no subscribe, nothing. So it's just a channel that somebody created so they could be snarky and be jerks to everyone. So, hey AJ, good to see you. Toma, you can call me Toma. Just don't call me late for dinner. AB, good to see you. And I do see your comments out there. Sometimes you guys make really great comments, just thanking me and everything, and I appreciate that. Bruce. Let me, speaking of Bruce, let me pull up the Discord. So the group of people that tend to populate my live streams I almost said every day, but not every day. They put together a Discord site where they kind of continue chatting and sharing things, and here's that. And then Bruce is building me oh yeah, look, you got some pictures up. See, I didn't see this. When did this happen? Oh my gosh, this happened on the 5th. I've checked it in the last 10 days. That's crazy. Okay, I'm going to take a closer look at these, Bruce. But here's the link, so you guys, anyone can check out, join that's an invite for the, if you're new, I don't know if I have any, with 25 people, I doubt I have anybody new here. Yeah, Bruce is building me. Yep, there's the cigar box, beautiful, and you got the fretboard going, and it's, yep, nice, the headstock. So you carve the headstock after you mount it to the box, is that right? And then does the neck continue past the box, or do you cut it off at the end? How do I get rid of this picture? That's so funny. That's really cool though. Tools are fun. Tools are fun. I just put a closet in our 4th bedroom on our new house, and my friend helped me put the closet in. the previous owners had taken out the closet and put in a giant. Oh, I am going. Hey, Sierra Night. Oh, Sierra. Is that Sierra? Is that Sierra from Shepherd? Yeah, we're going to talk more. We're going to talk about the key of E. We're going to talk about chords in the key of E, and we did the 6 main chords in the key of E. Like I say, there are in any diatonic key there are 6 chords: the 1, 4, 5, which are major; the 2, 3, 6, which are minor. Always in every major key, that's true. And so the problem with E is there are in the key of E there are we've got 4 of the 6 chords are bar chords, so that's kind of problematic for beginners. So I showed on Friday some cheaters, some cheater chords, and so instead of F sharp minor I showed you this F sharp minor 7/11. Instead of G sharp minor I showed you G sharp minor 7. Instead of B we did kind of a B sus. And then instead of C sharp minor, we did kind of a C sharp minor 7 that's played with open strings. And I love these chords. In fact, I'll often play the A2 just because it just... Now I wish these were 4. I wonder if I could, let me see if I can find a chord diagram that are 4 across, because that would be better. I want to write some of these out and the cheater chords out for you and put them on. Actually, I'll do it with these. Okay. Let's see. I have a link for that somewhere, but it's great to have these websites that have all these PDFs where you can make chord diagrams. And this one's unique because the strings actually get thicker. The lines get thicker so you can see the bottom string, which is very clever, I thought. Somebody thought of that. But I'm going to write out the 6 chords here in their purest form. So they're going to be, like I said, 3 of these are going to be, 4 of these are going to be bar chords. Ooh, I can do... The nice thing about these, I don't need to put fret markers on here. I don't need to do here like this. G sharp minor, okay. So 2, 3, open. And then I have been working on, I'm formulating my like guitar lesson, progressive lesson thing. It's going to be very basic. Each lesson is going to be very, very simple. And I'm going to call them, they'll be technically called lesson of the week, but you could go day by day or hour by hour if you want. But there's going to be segments in each video. It's going to be like exercise of the day, chord of the day, groove of the day, and song of the day. And the song will just be some like 2-chord strum thing, or it may be, in fact, the first song I was going to teach was, I don't know what to call it. I won't call it Jaws. But even just doing, I mean, as simple as that is for all of us, someone who's never picked up a guitar before, that could be a little bit of a challenge. But to be able to play something that's like sounds vaguely familiar the first second you have the guitar in your hand is pretty fun. So I figured I'll do that. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to write these out, and then I'm going to scan this and put this on the Discord site. That's another reason to subscribe to the Discord site, because I upload most everything I write here in the lessons, in these daily lessons. I've been uploading to that. 2, 3, 4, and then C sharp minor. Okay. All right, and then yeah, it's fun. So Bruce, my friend Jim, came over and helped me build this closet. And he has lots of tools, and he brought all his tools over, and it's just great to have the right tool for the job. Makes everything so much easier. All right. So there's that. Okay. So this is the 6 chords in the key of E, and I'll scan it. I can even scan it right now. Is everything on there? No. Okay. So we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, the 2, 3, 4, 5, and I use capital Roman numerals for major and small case Roman numerals for minor. That's pretty much standard for music speak. Chords in E. Okay. All right. And again, these are the ones that are naturally occurring in the key of E. None of these are weird substitutions. There's no minor 4, minor 5, no major 3, major 2, things like that. And to me, that's really when chords, progressions get interesting. Now, with those chords, we can do a lot. But now I'm going to show you the cheater chords. Okay, for E, we really don't need a cheater, right? So I'm just going to write E. All right. But for that F sharp minor, I did something called F sharp minor 711, which I know you love the name of that. Sorry. I'm not seeing comments. Question, oh, so you're not about circle of fifths. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, it's actually, I think I put circle of fifths in the name of the video, so I can pull that up for you. It was a live stream where we talked about it, okay? And I think the cool thing about that, some of those live streams was I made you guys do work. So I'm kind of waiting for you to answer my questions. So there's a little bit of that, Sierra. It's a little bit slow that way, but I definitely covered the circle of fifths. Let me finish this, and then I'll. And I like to finger it this way. Let's see, 3, 4, nothing, open, open, and then we had. So if I squiggle out a string, that means you don't play it. X, try to mute it if you can. G sharp minor 7. And then we had A, which is, we can play A still. A is easy, easy-ish. And then I did a B sus to sub for B. Kind of like making a power chord on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 0, 0. Don't worry, like I said, I'll hold this up so you can do a screenshot. Okay, so get ready to do a screenshot. I'm almost done. Cheater chords in E. But I am going to scan it right now and post it in the Discord. Homework or whatever the one is. Okay. All right, so here's the original one. So these are the firm chords in the key of E, okay? Those are just the pure major minors. So again, we have a lot of bar chords there. You can see those lines going across the frets. Those are bar chords. Oh no! And then we got rid of them all. This was on Friday. We did all these, okay? And so the E and the A haven't changed, but the F sharp minor, G sharp minor, B, and C sharp minor all changed into somewhat easier chords. The G sharp minor 7 is probably the hardest one because it's a 4-finger chord with a little bit of a spread there. And that was this chord. Instead of that chord. So that's 1, 3, 4, 5 with the pure chords and 1, 3, 4, 5 with the cheater chords. Okay? All right. So give me a second, and I will scan. Need to pull up my scanner. Where are we? Here we go. Scan. Go. Scan. Yes. You're watching me do office work. All right. And then we're going to start to we're going to major and minor all these major and minor chords. We're going to make them the opposite they are for fun. Okay. Wait. Oh, did you really? You got a no quiz, Peter? Oh, that's funny. I'm gonna be curious what people say to you when you get that. I ordered the mug, so it's not supposed to show up until for a couple weeks yet, I think. Oh, yes, I covered. I did do flats, F, B flat, and E flat on Wednesday. You're right. Okay, and let me see if I can find that. I'm multitasking here. Exit, save as PDF, chords in E. E, okay. Save. All right, the next one, the cheater chords in E. So I will put these, like I said, I'll put these, let's scan, let's see, clear. Scan. Scanning number 2. All right. Okay, so now I've got to find my YouTube channel. Let's see, Circle of Fifths. Let's see if I can find it. Come on. Oh, I know I did it. Let's see. Videos. Live. It's going to be way back there, though. We were talking about, let's see. Blues Basics, finger picking. It was before that. Chord theory. Ask me. Oh, here it is. Lesson 21. Okay. Options. I'll just have to click on it. All right. So copy link. Okay, Sierra. So here's the one I did. Oh, there you go. Here's the one I did on Circle of Fifths. Hopefully that helps. It's an hour and 45 minutes, so I'm sure, it's just like this. It's going to be pretty stream of consciousness. Starbucks should sponsor. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, Starbucks should totally. You know what I did today? I went to the Starbucks at my grocery store, the Ralph's, which is I think same as Kroger or Safeway. I can't remember who bought Ralph's. I think Safeway is Vaughn's and Ralph's is Kroger. Anyway, I went there and they were out of Sweet and Low, which I like Sweet and Low, and I know you're going to say, don't do that, that's cancer causing. And actually, it inhibits cancer cell growth, is my opinion, of Sweet and Low. That's my personal opinion. Because my sisters and everybody in my family ate really healthy. I eat healthy, but that's, one of the few things I take that people would say, oh, you shouldn't do that. But I'm the only one in my family, knock on wood, that hasn't had cancer. So, oh, weird. The YouTube site, weird. Are we good still? We still have streaming, right? Okay, so now I gotta say exit, save, and this is gonna be called cheater chords in E. Okay, and I'm going to Discord right now. The YouTube thing is down, which is weird. Okay, Tom's bookmarks, right? Yes, okay. Here we go. Add. I can add 2 things at once, I think. Where are we? Go here, here, boom. All right. So the chords I just showed you are uploaded. All right. Those are there now. So if you want to print those up, that would be great. So you have them. We're going to build on that. Sarah, Tom's covered a lot of this in previous live streams. Search YouTube for Tom Strahle daily lessons. There are over 60. Actually, today's 74. Yeah, I did. Oh, did you ask how often I? Let's see. And yeah, early July. Yeah, I think that's what mine said too for the cup, the mug. Mark, thank you. Mark Cregan, thank you so much. On top shelf. I love that. I actually didn't know what top shelf meant. I mean, I knew it meant like the best, right? But I didn't understand, um, because I've never been a drinker, and I know that that doesn't mean you're a drinker if you understand top shelf. But I remember, like, I mean, I had probably a half a can of beer when I was 15 and hated it. Poured the rest of it into flowers just to say, oh yeah, I finished my beer. Like I was cool. Um, and the um, we and I remember on my dad passed away in 9 years ago, and 9 years ago next month, and so what I started to do was he always had a gin martini. So I went on his birthday that year. I went to a restaurant that I always went to, and I always sat at the bar. Really good food. It was kind of a joint, like a steak joint kind of place. And I sat at the bar, and I told the bartender, I said, hey, I'd like a gin martini. And she goes, okay. And I had worked in nightclubs before. One nightclub I ran sound at, I was in the Crow's Nest, which was above the bar. So I knew some of the terminology. I said, just use the well gin, the cheap stuff, And she says, are you sure? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine. And so she pours me this drink, and she kind of stares at me as I take my first sip, and it tasted like Clorox. And I'm like, my dad liked this? And she said, I was wondering why you ordered the well gin for a gin martini, because she said that's not what you should do, and she poured me the right kind of martini, and it still was, to me, it still tasted like a little less like Clorox. But then flash forward a few years, and I've been going to Louisville. I don't know if it's going to happen this year in September. It's getting kind of close. I would hear about it by now, I think. But I've always been playing guitar for the Muhammad Ali Humanitarian Awards in Louisville. And Louisville has just got all these speakeasies left over. Some of them original speakeasies from the days of Prohibition. And we went to this one bourbon bar, and they kept it open. We were like there at 3 a.m. or something after the gig, and the guy literally climbed up on the bar and reached up to the top shelf and pulled down like the expensive bourbon, like $60 a glass kind of stuff. And I was like, wait, is that what that means, top shelf? And he goes, yeah. And I went, oh, I had no idea. So. Oh, put Fisher's link. I can't seem to get in. Fisher's link. Oh, okay. Sorry. Discord. All right, let me do it again. It's sometimes if you don't snag it, it expires. I don't know why, but I guess that makes sense. So there's the fresh link right there. All right. So now we're going to talk about what we're going to do is we're going to take all those chords, and we learned it before. You know what? Well, we'll do this. I'm going to kind of I'll put in here G sharp minor, A, B, C sharp minor. Okay. Those are our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chords. Okay. So what we're going to do is not the E, but the other ones, everything else, we're going to make them the opposite of what they are. And then we're going to justify them in the progression. Okay. And so we did this before. I'm going to take the E progression. I should probably scan this too, I think. Maybe I'll scan it later. So here's those. I'm going to write those 6 chords out again here. E, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A, B, and C sharp minor. Okay? So we have the 1, the 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, and 6. And this is minor 6, and this is always the case. Okay, so I'm writing that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that F sharp minor, and make it F sharp major. Now I'm going to put F sharp 7 No. Let's see. Oh, you're talking to B Kitty. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so and we're going to take that G sharp minor and make it G sharp 7. We're going to take the A and make it A minor, and we take the B and B minor and so forth. And you'll find that they lead to certain things. So, like if I take F sharp minor and make it F sharp 7, okay, that becomes the 5 of the 5, which is B. So it really wants to be, it's kind of the 5 of the 5. We talked about this before, okay? So I'm going to come up with a progression here that uses F sharp minor, or it doesn't. But like, for example, I could do, here's a good example, okay? E, again, see those chords there, E, the 50s progression, right? E, to the 6 chord, C sharp minor, to the 4 chord, A, to the 5 chord. But if I go to F sharp minor instead of the A, see, what I did was I substituted the F sharp 7 for the A chord in that progression because I was going to the B chord and I wanted a stronger. A goes to B, sure, but there's no leading anything. It's just everything moves up a whole step. It's all parallel, what's called parallel movement, which is actually frowned upon in music notation, in classical. The study of music. So, let's see. Dennis, Tom, you should put the Discord link somewhere on screen with OBS whenever you're streaming. Can I do? I guess I could do that, and then somebody could ask to join. Is that what you're saying? Or because like I said, because this is. Yeah, that's a crazy link. I don't think anybody would want to copy that. And I would only be able to put it up there in with a JPEG or something like that. All of a sudden, spiked. Okay. So that progression I just played, pretty cool. So basic 50s, 1, 6, 4, 5. Okay, so it went E to C sharp minor to A to B. And then I went E to C sharp minor, right? And then I went to F sharp 7 to B. And that F sharp 7, again, we talk about the 7th chord. The 7th chord has a tritone in it, okay? Which is this, it's a 5th down a fret. It's like a power chord. Batman is just power chord, tritone, 4th, so root 5th, root flat 5, root 4, root flat 5. So that tritone, which is right there and here, it wants to resolve. And the great thing about this F sharp 7 chord is it has that tritone in it, and this note wants to go down, and this note wants to go up. So listen to the resolution. See, no parallel movement there. It's actually contrary movement, which is very not frowned upon, which is smiled upon. Yeah, I saw it suddenly jump up to 45. So that's really cool. So that makes that change a lot stronger going to the B chord. Okay, so again, I'm going to do this progression that I just wrote out here. Oh man, went up fast. Where did it go? No, there it is. Okay. 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, 6, major 2, 5. And when you hear it, it sounds familiar. Like there's songs written up like that. And you don't have to do it that way. You could just do the... But if you just did that progression, I would actually think, okay, wait a minute. This is actually a 4, 2, 5, 1 in the key of B. It's when you take that change... When we take one of those chords that we changed and you use it at a point in a song where it's not constantly repeated, but just like to make emotion stronger or an emotion stronger. And I call it a money chord. Okay, it's like you hear it and it's suddenly like, whoa. Now, creep does the same progression over and over again by Radiohead, and it uses a lot of these tricks, and we're going to do that. We'll do that progression today too, in the key of E instead of the key of G, like Creep is. And so there's an example where you can use the substitutions throughout the whole progression, no problem. You can loop it that way too. But something about, you think you know the song, and the listener's going, oh yeah, oh okay, and that takes you right back to the beginning. A, B, E, C sharp minor, F sharp 7. And again, I make it a 7th just to make it even more obvious it's going to B. I can do pure F sharp major. But that's a cool progression right there. But again, that one sounds like it's in B. Okay. That's a cool progression. All right. So that progression, what did I do there? I went 1, 6, 4, 5. So I went E, C sharp minor, A, B, and then I went 6, C sharp minor, to 4, to the F sharp 7, which is the major 2, and to the B. And you'll notice that I say major 2, and the reason I'm saying major 2 and not the 2, like I said 1, 6, 4, 5, if I say 1, 6, 4, 5, I mean them in their naturally occurring state. If I say major or minor before it, that means something's different. If I say flat, like if I say the flat 6, the flat major 6 in the key of C would be, the key of E would be C. That's that, the first chord of that climb. So if I say flat or I say major, then you know that it's changing from its original naturally occurring form. All right, so let's take the next chord, the G sharp minor, and make it G sharp 7. Okay, and let's see if we can. That one's also, I like that one a lot. In fact, that's the one that's in Creep. It's a major, so it's a major 3. And you can say major 3, 7 if you want to have the 7. And that one leads really strongly. It's the 5 of the 6. That leads really strongly to the. Because it's the 5 of the C sharp minor, it leads really strong to that. So you can see I wrote a Roman numeral 5 here /6. It's the 5 of the 6. This one here was the 5 of the 5. All right, and I'll scan this at the end of the lesson and we can post it on Discord. All right, so let's see. Let's justify this one. Simple. We could do like I could go. Minor A. So I went E, B, C sharp minor. And the reason I put the chords in that way, because I wanted that C sharp minor chord, because that's what I'm going to be going to from the G sharp. I wanted that C sharp minor in a kind of a easy to access place. So it's a third chord. That means that I can make the second chord. So I went E to B to C sharp minor to A, and I'm just coming up with random chord progressions. Then I do E, and now because C sharp minor is the third chord in the progression, I'm going to make the second chord that 5 of that C sharp minor, which is the G sharp 7. Okay, and then I'm going to go to C sharp minor, and then I'm going to continue and go to A. I could go to B there, but so that's the progression right there. If you want to copy those, I don't know. You guys can write them, or I don't know if you can highlight them and copy and paste. But just fun progressions. It almost sounds like Hook by Blues Traveler, right? I messed up my own progression. Now Now, here's another thing you could do. You could use like a, right, or B. When you do like the C diminished, that's kind of, C diminished is kind of a sub for G sharp 7. Don't worry, there won't be a quiz on this. I should have added don't worry. Don't worry, there won't be a quiz. Now I'm having regrets, Bruce, or Peter ordered it. Somebody else ordered it, and I touched my face. So this is a double sip here. 1, 2. So what does it say? Here, let me put the link to the store so you guys can see it. I hope they look all right. I mean, I just went with really basic like Helvetica and. Oh yeah, wait. The YouTube thing is down. This YouTube studio is down. Is it fixed? Is it back up? It's down. Weird. Okay, so if I go there, all right. All right, so I'm going to go to my YouTube channel and then go to the store. There's a store tab. So if you go to my channel, store, okay, I'm gonna post a link to this so you can see. It's pretty funny. Those are gulps. Exactly. Oh, Bob. Hey, how's it going, Bob? Good to see you. So here's what we have so far of this. These changing the chords. All right. So there's our basic chord progression: the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the chords that typically populate songs in the key of E. And then these are our, I know a lot of times I call them the money chords, the chords that make people go, oh, it changed. Something happened. I think it keeps people listening. Now, you know, you can go crazy with it. You don't want to necessarily go crazy with it. Now, the next one we're going to do is we're going to take the A chord, which is here, is major. Okay? The A chord is major. We're going to make it minor. All right? And so, essentially, the difference between a major chord and a minor chord is one note. You're taking the third and you're moving it either up a half step or down a half step. So that's why these tend to work. It's not like we're just suddenly going from E to F where all 3 notes change. So A minor. Oh. I got my organ up. Let's see. Let me pull up Rhodes. So there's E major to A minor. Normally it'd be E, right? So A minor, it tends to want to go back to E, generally, I find. And that's because you have, if you look at the notes, even just as you play it on guitar of a basic A minor, you've got that C there on the first fret of the second string in the A, and both those want to go down by half step. So if I go down, obviously if I just take off my first finger, I go down a half step. If I move my, go to my second fret or first fret from the second fret. So if you play these 2 notes and then these 2 notes, that is, sorry, I'm going to get this up so I can see your comments. Okay. That's a really strong resolution. It's a beautiful resolution. So a song that might use, and I talk about Radiohead, Creep. I'll show you that one in a second. But let's do one where I change the A to A minor and make it, maybe make it a little bit more interesting. So we can even do something like this. We can go. I'm playing the A and then go into the A minor is a really nice change. But I could do something like where I go. That's kind of cool. Yeah, move the third down, the middle note, the 1, 3, 5, move the third down, and you're going to make a minor chord. And the same opposite's true. If you take a minor chord, move the third up, you're going to turn it into a major chord. So like A major is this, and A minor, just take that. Just take that second string note and go down a fret. Okay, so that progression, what did I do? I went E to B, right? To C sharp minor to A. So that was 1, 5, 6, 4. And then I went, and here, again, listen to my terminology. 1, 5, 6, minor 4. See, I only mentioned the tonality of the triad if I'm changing it. So 1, 5, 6, 4. 1, 5, 6, minor 4. Okay? Now Radiohead, the Creep song is, it's basically the same, in this key, normally it's in the key of G, but in this key it would be E to G sharp 7, which is the major 3, to 4 to the minor 4. Okay? Creep and E. It's a beautiful progression. And it's also, Lana Del Rey used it in the song. Now, she got in trouble and got ridiculed not because of the chord progression as much, some of that, but mostly because of her melody. But the Hollies had a song. What was the name? You got some old timers like me. What was the name of the Hollies song? I can look it up really quick. And a lot of people have done mashups between the Radiohead and the Hollies. Is it The Air I Breathe or something like that? What's it? Let's see. Radiohead. Oh, was there a lawsuit, really? The Air That I Breathe, yeah. Turns out Creep was looking. Was it though? I mean, I'm sure Tom York knew that song, but you can't. Again, I don't think you should be allowed to sue because someone took your chord progression, because I'm sure. Yeah, Bruce, that's true. I really do try to. I know I talk above some heads, and then I always try to kind of. Anytime I know I'm going to do that, I say there won't be a quiz on this, because I don't want you to stress about it. I want you to pull from these lessons what you pull from them. And because we're in the key of E, it's a little bit hard for beginners. But as we start to do some of these substitution chords, like when we do the flat major 6 to the flat major 7 to the 1 chord, they're all open chords with, you've been playing already. So that will happen. We'll do those on Wednesday, Lord willing. So, yeah, it's beautiful here right now too. Okay, so again, this is a great chord progression. And again, I don't know. I'll have to read up on it. I didn't know that the Hollies sued about that. That seems like that's probably why Radiohead doesn't play it anywhere. I mean, it would say on the Wikipedia page for that song, right? Because when they change, it would say under. Let's see. Oops. It would say under songwriters, it would not be members of. Where is it? Here's the Wikipedia page. Songwriters. Oh, yeah, they added them. right? Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on. Associate. No, it's not. Okay, so I don't know who these guys are. Maybe they were. I don't know why their names are on here, but they're not members of the Hollies. Writing and recording. Because it says Radiohead is the writer, and they do that on all their songs pretty much. Yeah, I don't see them mention anything about the Hollies. Interesting. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Well, one of the things that's really cool about like that progression. Let's see, what is that? The fifth. So if you look at the fifth of the E chord, which is B, and this is the kind of stuff that I love. Sorry. You guys are watching me Google. It's like an episode of CSI. Is Jim the murderer? Oh, he's the murderer. Okay, problem solved. All right, so E, we got. So we got this. we got Vita in the middle of a Radiohead song. Right? So, and then the other thing is, instead of playing A minor, you could play C. So you get this. Because C would be a major substitution for A minor. And that has kind of a cool sound, but we're not talking about C today, so we're not going to do that. But C is so the minor, to find a minor sub of a major chord, go down 3 half steps. Or I like to say go down a half step and a whole step. So if we're doing the minor sub for G. Yeah, well, Ed, that's exactly I don't think you can copyright chord progressions. And so that's why I was curious, because when I was Googling Hollies and Radiohead, because I couldn't remember the name of the Holly song, I saw lawsuit or something like that in the Google search, and so I just assumed somebody sued somebody, but I didn't see that on the Wikipedia page for the song, but I didn't read the whole Wikipedia page. Pants confirmed, indeed. So I definitely believe I would be. You can't copyright a chord progression. You just can't. I don't care how complex the chord progression is either. In fact, probably the more complex a chord progression is, the less likely someone's going to want to steal it anyway. So the simpler ones are the ones that are freaking genius. And that progression, that 1 major 3 4 minor 4, it's just a freaking genius. It's a beautiful chord progression. And there is truth to the fact that that Radiohead benefited from the fact that song, I think, was originally released in '72 by the Hollies, and that was post Graham Nash Hollies, right? So that people, they benefited from the fact that song was reverberating through music history. And so when people heard the Radiohead song, there was a familiarity to it. There was a kind of a maudlin familiarity to it. And so that probably aided in, because it was their first single, probably technically their only hit. Oh, air quotes. Take a sip. That's one of the rules. If I use air quotes, you get to take a sip. I'm a big Radiohead fan. I love Radiohead. I love all their records. I think we talked about this the other day. I'm supposed to meet this week with some young kids, a brother and sister that want to be pop artists, and we're going to talk about pop music and writing hooks and things like that. And I've said, hooks can be a lot of things. And in a song, everybody thinks, oh, the hook is the melody, right? But I think in some ways that hook for Creep is the chord progression because it's the thing that really sells it. But for me, so my example of how do you know what the hook is? The hook is the thing that the 15-year-old girl or the 13-year-old girl, when they call the radio station, whatever they say to the DJ, play that song, because they don't know the song or the artist, they go, play that song that says Ella, 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 hey, hey, hey. Play that song. That's the hook. And so it's whatever hooks you and pulls in the listener. And for me, on Creep, the hook was literally a sound. And let me see if I can replicate that sound at all. Oh, that's, what the heck? Oh, here we go. Why is this so short? And yes, I am limping. I jacked my knee up on Saturday when I was working on the closet. I was on my knees, basically countersinking nails in the baseboard, and I just kind of scooted along and got I don't know if we have any doctors in the house, but just a sharp pain right. And I can push on it and make it hurt. So it's like here, I don't think that's not ACL. ACL is more in here, right? Anybody know about ACL injuries? So it's like right in here. So I got a knee brace, and just to kind of give me a little more confidence when I walk. I walked to Starbucks today. Yeah, I'm feeling good. It still hurts, and never was it. The pain was so bad for a second when it first happened that I couldn't take a step. But that didn't last long. So I've been kind of walking it off. Okay, so I've got my G&L here. So for me, I'm gonna have to open a track. I don't think this is little. Let me add a track. I'm gonna make a super gainy track. Okay, big rock guitar sound. Let's see. Where's one of my wide power? That's a good one. Okay, so it's like this. Oh, take a sip. Dang it! I forgot this guitar was in drop D. Oh, nice, Bob. Yeah, G&Ls are so well made. They're just solid guitars. The necks feel great on these things. Cheers, everyone. I didn't know what tuning I was in. That's another one of the drinking game rules. I was doing some drop D stuff for a game. Okay, so the song's going on, cause I'm a queen. Oh man. Now I'm just out of tune. Cause I had it in drop D. It was like when you've got a whammy bar, it's really hard to do tunings with in the middle of a song. It just throws everything off. But my whole point of this is we're talking about chord progressions, and we're talking about chord progressions in the key of E, not G. But I'm going to do the one in G from. Okay, yeah, it's like. Well, actually, that's the chorus. Go. It's the same chord progression in the verse. But I just love, that is the hook to me. That's the hook. And so it's not even a note. It's not a melody. You could say it's a rhythm. You could say it's a. Yeah, I mean there may be some pitches in there, but basically it's just a noise. I think "Where Are You Now" by Justin Bieber and Skrillex. There's that percussive thing that they do coming out of the chorus. That's just like. It's like that's the hook. That's the thing that pulls you in. That's the thing that like you want to buy the record so you can hear it again. Other songs hooks are like, a riff. But generally, most of the time the hook is probably the chorus melody. But I wouldn't say that's 50% of the time. I'd say it's less than that because there are times when, I think that's a hook. That lick is the hook that pulls the listener in, and the hook generally needs to happen fairly early in the song, but not always. Okay, so let's look at we justified or did the A minor, and that tends to lead to the lead to one. So we take the B minor or the B and make it B minor. Okay, and so now we have. So this becomes a minor 4. Oops, yeah, minor 4. This becomes a minor 5. And B minor, what does it want to go to? I don't know. I like the sound of the B minor. Like if I did a normal progression where I'm kind of going through. Sorry, get this footrest back. What would it sound like if I did the 50s? Trying to think of a good use for it. That doesn't really work. What I like is and what that kind of reminds me of is now, you could probably make the argument if I'm doing this progression and I never play B major, that I'm technically in the key of A and not in the key of E, because this would be the 5 chord in A, this would be the 1 chord, and this would be the 2 chord. But what chord does the song want to end in? It doesn't want to end on an A chord. It wants to end on an E chord. So technically, that's in the key of E. Now, if I went like if the verses were that, and then I went to the chorus. That actually is kind of cool. The major 4 going to the 4 going to the minor 4 is kind of a cool thing, but the minor 5 going to the 5 is kind of a cool thing too. So, and the 5 can always be a 7 chord. You can always play in the key of E. You can always play B7. It just might sound a little country or hokey in a pop context. Like if I was doing. It's a little corny in some contexts. In blues, it makes sense, and in country, even some rock situations or folk situations, it totally makes sense. But in pop, it might be a little weird. Like, cheesy in the key over that kind of vibe. Okay, so that's the B minor. don't know. It's a little tough for me. I've got to see, like. That's why I'm using the minor 5 and the minor 4 in the same progression. That's kind of cool. Hey, CB. Charlie B. I have been lurking watcher for a couple months and really enjoy every bit of it. Go by CB. Grew up in San Marino. Hey, next best dude. 56 years old. Well, I taught and lived in Pasadena for 35 years. A lot of friends in San Marino. So you grew up in San Marino. I know, like, Abbott's. I had a bunch of students from San Marino. Winslow's. I don't know if you know the Winslow's, but we have one more chord, and that's going to be taking the 6th chord, the C sharp minor, the 6th chord, and we're going to make it C sharp major. All right. So the B minor, I'm not sure really what that leads to. What did I say before? When I did the G, what did I say? I don't remember. I mean, it kind of leads back to 1. It kind of leads down to 4. It could go to a couple places. I'll put it going to 4, and I'll put it going to 1. The C sharp, what we're going to make is a C sharp 7. You could play a pure C sharp. That's a major 6. That's definitely going to want it. That's the 5 of F sharp minor. So that's the 5 of the 2 chord. And so we can definitely use it in that kind of context. But it also, let's see, what else could it go to? It could go to the D, which would be the flat 7, major 7. I'm so glad, Bridget. It's exactly my goal. All right. So C sharp 7 is like that. What I'm going to do is I will rewrite this out. I'm going to have to print it up again. And I'll write E, and then I'll write the other chords. And so the A minor, the B minor, the C sharp 7, the F sharp 7, the G 7. Okay. Quick, take a screenshot. All right. So now, no, I have not been drinking. Well, I have been drinking coffee. I'm just kind of a natural goofball. Okay. So C sharp 7. So what I might want to do is do a progression where I go, like, for example, E to B. I want C sharp 7. So if I go E, B, the 5, to the 6, to the 1, and then I change that and go, same thing, first 2 chords, and then I go, oh, you know what? We're going to want to go, let's see. So let's do that, and then watch. That's kind of cool. Pretty chord progression. So I'm going 1, 6, 4, 5, the classic 50s chord progression, and then I go, instead of C sharp minor, I go to the C sharp 7, and then that leads me to the F sharp minor, and that is kind of the 2, 5 in the key of E. F sharp minor to E. So I'll write that down right here for you. Song written around that, you know, just start goofing around with melodies and see what you come up with. So that chord progression I was playing was, like I said, the standard kind of classic 50s 1, 6, 4, 5, which is E, C sharp minor, A, and B, and then I went to E again, and then this time I did C sharp 7, okay. And that led me to F sharp minor, which is a substitute for A. That's the minor substitute for A major. F sharp minor is. All right. Again, you just go down 3 half steps, make the chord minor, and you've got a substitute. I'll give you an example of that within E. Okay, we'll talk about that within E. Okay, and then that goes to B. So there's that progression I was just playing. So you can highlight that if you can. I'm not sure. Can I highlight and copy? Oh yeah, look at that. Boom, yeah, I can do that. So you guys can highlight and copy those. Just sent you a sent you a message. Bonnie sent you a message, Dennis. Oh, you've had both knees rebuilt. If you are okay with... Yeah, I was fine. Yeah. It's just a little sharp pain over here. I'm not feeling any... Sorry. This is like online medical. I'm not feeling any like sudden like kicking out a joint thing. And the other thing that encourages me is I'm pretty sure I've had this happen before and it got better. So I had tennis elbow and it's almost exact same point on, it's like I have tennis knee or something. And I had tennis elbow. Literally, I felt it pop when I was putting a topspin on a forehand when I was playing my son. When I was playing Alex, and I couldn't play for a year and a half. I tried. Literally, after it popped, I picked up my racket, and I hit one ball, and the pain was shot like up my arm, like an electrical shock. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So I, had to let it chill forever. The older you get, of course, it takes forever to heal. There's some property that's not being used behind my house, and I want to buy it and build a tennis court. But it would be a real bummer because it would be like if I built a tennis court and then I couldn't play on it, it'd be like, oh, that would stink. I just feel like it would be so decadent to have a tennis court. Okay, so what was I was going to do? So talking about the minor subs, okay? So if I had a chord progression that was like, right? E, A, B. I can sub instead of E, I can play C sharp minor. Any melody that will work over E is pretty much going to work over C sharp minor, almost without fail. And so what that does is, you can be playing this chord progression. Say it's a redundant chord progression. You're in the key of E and it's got an E chord in it. You can substitute for that E anytime you want. C sharp minor is a minor sub for E. Well, the opposite's true too. If you're playing C sharp minor, if you want to, you could sub in the E major, and pretty much any melody that works over that C sharp minor is also going to work over the E major. Now here's the other thing. In the key of E, we have minor subs for the 4 and the 5 chords. So this is the 1 chord. E is the 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, do, re, mi, fa, so. I can get that note early in the morning. The 4 and the 5 are both major chords, A and B, and the minor sub for A, again, B F sharp minor. So I could play this progression with just minor subs and sound like this. A little sad, too sad, but I can do this. Story time. Yes, that's right, Charlie. I was looking at a diagram of knee. I was looking, on WebMD. I was looking at diagrams. Yeah, and they crisscross behind your kneecap. So that's it's not that. It's off to the side. It's what you said. May have strained outside. It was outside. I guess technically it's inside because it's on the inside of my leg, but ACLs, ACL will be scary. And I've had friends that had ACL. This daughter of a friend of ours, she was 19 in college and playing she's like a volleyball beast, and she tore her one ACL, and then she got it fixed, and literally MCL, which is the medial, yeah. And then she tore the other one after she got the one fixed. I think she tore the other one while she was recovering from the first one. It was like, oh, so I guess, some people may just have a tendency for that, like softer ligaments or, less connection to the ligament in the bone and all that. But, I've been pretty fortunate. I've never broken a bone, but I'm sure I've torn muscles and ligaments and stuff playing tennis or whatever, basketball, football, all that stuff, running. So let's see. You are part of the group, Charlie. You are part of the group. Oh, let me give you the Discord link so you can join that part of the group too, because oftentimes discussions continue on Discord, and all my paperwork that I do, I put up there. In fact, I'll scan this one right now. All right, copied. Here's the Discord link. All right, I'm losing viewers right now because I'm talking about my knees. Am I going to talk about broken bones again? No. We did. You guys talked about broken bones because I didn't have any. I got to think of a story. I know you guys think I'm a name dropper, but my friend Paul McCartney, he's a real name dropper. All right, let's see. Hey, Paul Becker. Okay, yeah, it's pretty, I can push it, and like I said, I'm right there. I can feel it, like, and it actually doesn't hurt as much as it did. Yeah, it happened Saturday, like I said, I walked to Starbucks today. I mean, I could feel it with every step, but it wasn't. Nothing ever felt like it was gonna go out of joint or cause me to stumble or anything like that. I've had back problems that were that bad. Let's see. Okay, I got to scan something again. I'm going to scan that sheet I did for today, okay? And I'm going to put that up in the homework on... Come on, load. There we go. And then Wednesday we'll do the other three chords, the other major chords, the major flat 3, the major flat 7, the major flat 6. And okay, I just realized something about what I just said, okay? And that's why I love teaching, because you learn when you teach. In the key of E, the major chords are 1, 4, 5, right? Well, if I play them here, 1, 4, 5, I just realized that basically the 1, 4, 5 in the key of G is the flat major 3, the flat major 6, and the flat major 7. So it's, chords that will work are the 1, 4, 5 in the key of G. We can actually justify, all the time. We hear that all the time, and that's the G. So that's kind of the one chord in the key of G. All right, I'm touching my face so you guys can take a drink. Charlie, we have a drinking game, and if I touch my face, that's one of the rules. You get to take a drink. Okay, save as PDF, chords. See, chords. I don't remember what to call this. Plus E. And E. All right. So go to the Discords. I go to the Tom's bookmarks. Okay, let's add this. Here we go. There it is. And done. All right. So now that's up there as well. So you guys can see that. And did I just post a link again? I did not. Question from Tom Beck. Oh, I heard. Did you, Tom? Are you saying that somebody told me they're going out of business? Oh, Norms, not Norms. I'm sorry. No, not Norms. Somebody told me McCabe's was going out of business, but I went to their website and they said nothing. I've been to Norm's many times, many times. In fact, I bought my 335 from Norm's, from Norm himself. And Alex, my son, actually does guitars and stuff for Norm's son on some records. Let's see, what did I want to do? Oh, I just want to go here and close this. Quit. Okay. All right. Yeah, you already know most of the rules. There's 10 of them. And it's, by drinking, of course, we mean coffee or Diet Coke or soda or water or tea, milk. I don't see, where's, I haven't seen him in a while, but some people have beer. I'm not going to judge him, but here it's mornings. Well, it's just now. Okay, so we need a story. Gosh darn it. And the funny thing was, again, I thought of a story the other day and I didn't write it down. Trying to think. Anytime I met somebody. Well, this is a kind of a short story, Diane. And since you're mostly my age, you would know who this person is. but when I was, let's see, age of 5 to the age of 8, I lived in Potomac, Maryland, which is just outside of Washington, D.C., on Chord Drive, if any of you were out that way. I think we were just off of River Road, which goes along the Potomac, I'm assuming, or something. I mean, because I was only 5 and 8, I never drove there, so I don't really know my way around, but I can find the house on a map, no problem. But our 2 doors down, our neighbor was, he was Sam Donaldson, and at the time he was the White House correspondent for ABC or something like that, or maybe a local news. But he took me and my sisters trick or treating with his kids one year because my dad was out of town because he was a salesman for furniture companies, and my mom was home alone, and so she couldn't take us trick or treating. So Sam Donaldson took me and my sisters trick or treating. But I don't know. That's not much of a story. That's just like brushes with greatness, maybe. I don't know. I do remember the next. My best friend growing up there, Will McNamara. He was. His dad was a doctor, a surgeon, and he had a Corvette, a really nice, like brand new at the time. So that would have been 1966. So he had a 66 Corvette, red, and because he was because he was a doctor, somehow he was allowed to have a siren on it. So he had a 66 red Corvette with a siren and flashing light on his dashboard or something. I forget how they did it or what it was, but so he would take Will and I to go get ice cream. He would turn on the siren, and we get ice cream really fast, and come back. And we come back with the ice cream too. And part of me thinks the reason he turned on the siren because he didn't want us dripping ice cream in his car. But the funny thing was that Corvette's a 2-seater. So Will and I were just little kids, and so we just sat in the front seat. I don't think we wore seatbelts, and we're driving. It's like in this basically Corvettes are basically, they're just made of fiberglass. I've seen accidents Corvettes, and they just explode. It was Dr. McNamara. He was so much fun. People called him Hawkeye later because when MASH came out, everybody thought he looked like Hawkeye Pierce. In fact, I think he's still practicing. In fact, now I think he's a orthopedist, and that may have been what he was back then. I don't know. I don't think he was an ER doctor. He just was a doctor that somehow managed to let the city of Potomac gave him a screenshot. Yeah. So he was just allowed to have that, and it was funny. Will and I, Will was I think about a year younger than me, so I think when I was 7 or 8 and he was 6 or 7, we were playing with a hose in the front yard. He was like spraying me, and I'm running around, and I get the brilliant idea of running into their to hide. I ran into this playhouse that was built. It was like all wood playhouse, you know, the kids could play in. And I ran and hid in there, and Will goes, "Oh!" And there was a door, and then there was a little window above the door, and so he just said, "Oh, I'll make it rain in there." So he sprayed in the window above the door, and right up there above the the door was a hornet's nest. So he hit the hornet's nest with the hose, and I was completely surrounded by hornets. And I came running out of there, and I had so many stings. I was fine, but man, did I get the crap stung out of me. Holy cow. Yeah, Corvettes are beautiful cars. I mean, it's one of the few cars I've always been, thought, oh man, that would be kind of fun. Indianapolis, growing up in Indianapolis with the Indy 500, Corvettes would often be the pace car. And I recently we were looking at houses before we bought this one, and I'm touching my face. Recently saw one. You never see pace cars in California. In Indiana, you see pace cars all the time because those cars that they use to go around the track, they have 33 of them. And they actually sell those, and then they have the kind of the unofficial ones that just say pace car on the side. That's like a big deal in Indiana. I don't know that that's a big deal anywhere else, but. Leave the guitar, take a cannoli. Speaking of having a siren on your car, did you ever hear that story about the guy in Denver that had apparently fire trucks, maybe even police cars, but fire trucks especially have a transmitter on their dash that changes the light to green so they can go through it. You hear that story about that guy that stole one of those and had it in his car for 3 years? Oh, you saw the Norman's Rare guitar shirt. I didn't even notice. That's funny. They gave me this shirt when I bought that 335. So he had one of those for 3 years, and for 3 years he didn't get a red light in Denver. Right? And it was all kind of figured out by probably a year or two went by and they didn't think anything about it, but they started seeing these like anomalies and in the traffic light patterns, and so they started to get curious about it. So they finally went and they using the history of the light changes combined with cameras, traffic cameras, all that stuff. They finally found him and caught him and went to his house and gave him a $300 ticket because there was no ordinance against it. Should have been a felony, but they didn't have a law against it. So he just got a regular old, red light ticket or something. Oh yeah, the split window one. I had a friend that had a 60s, early 60s vet, and he was the sax player in the band I was in Indiana before I moved out here. But yeah. Okay, so that's cool though. I just realized the 1, 4, 5, and G is what are the three major chords we're going to learn in E next time. So again, remember what I said about when we did the key of G and we started doing some of these substitute chords, we ended up with a lot of flat chords, and it was more difficult because we started in an easy key of G, and we ended up going to more difficult chords because we were making all these weird substitutions. But the key of E is already a fairly difficult chord, so it just made sense that our substitutions are actually going to be easier. When I look at that list, which is here, A minor, A, none of these are particularly easier than but the flat ones will be. So when we do the G, the D, and the C, those will obviously be easier. And so what we'll talk about is kind of how to justify those chords. And what I'm also trying to show you at the same time is ways you can play E chords. And just to be thinking about progressions, the premise of this is to help you figure out songs. If you're trying to, I think it's really good. You can go straight to Google and Google the name of a song, and you got the chords there. If you want to find a song, you write lyrics, chords, PDF, name of the song, and you'll probably find it. And that's great. Two problems. One is that, dang it, my nose itches. Okay, take a sip. There's probably a wrong chord somewhere on there. Usually those transcriptions are done by someone who doesn't really know the song very well. Some songs are more riff oriented, so you really don't have, unless they go to tab, then if they put tab in there, then you can have the riffs written out or music notation. But the other thing, the other loss there is that you're not using your ear, and I would prefer you to use your ear. So we talked about this in the first lesson about how to help you find the root or the key, the tonic of the song. And then once you do that, that's where, like if you know the song's in the key of E, there's, like I talked about, there's 12 minor chords and there's 12 major chords. So there's 24 chords, but you can eliminate it down to 6 chords, and that'll help make it figuring out the song a lot faster if you know what are the 6 most likely chords. And from these 6, you can even go say, oh, probably the minor 3 is not going to be one that's going to pop up. So you could even almost limit it to 5 chords. So, and sometimes like somebody, the song may be E to E over G, and somebody may write somebody hears that G sharp in the bass and they may just assume it's G sharp minor, when in fact it's just E with the 3rd in the bass. Oh, by the way, this is my favorite E over G sharp chord. Here, I'll write this out. And what's going on? 70. Yeah, that's. There have only been a few years where I went, what did they do to the design of the vet? Okay, so E / G sharp. And Corvette is one of the few. Okay, this, so 4x 2. I like this voicing. I'm using my 3rd finger on the 5th on the bottom string, 4th fret. 1st finger on the E, so I'm skipping the A string. 2nd fret, and then pinky on the B. So I have 2 B's in a row. That's just a nice. But sometimes somebody might figure it out and they go, oh, it's the 3rd chord, but that's the wrong chord in some cases. So that's why sometimes you can't trust the tab that's out there. And so my goal is that you can hear a chord progression or a song and start to figure it out really quick, because you start to recognize, oh wait, they went to the minor 4 chord. That's a very common. The Beatles did that a lot. So Beatles used a lot of chord progressions and did a lot of changes and surprised. Actually, their songs later, like Let It Be and things like that, those are simpler songs in some ways. Yeah, about Corvettes, one of the things that I like about Corvettes is that they are so stylized that you can tell a Corvette no matter, if you put a picture without any logos on it, without any trademarks or anything on it, you can pretty much tell what kind of car it is, because they've managed to keep the Corvette even as wide as they've gotten and kind of square in the back or whatever. They've still managed to keep that identity, that fingerprint, that DNA that's still there, that designers really slave over. The car design. We had a neighbor in our building in Pasadena. He got his degree in auto design at Art Center in Pasadena. It's really one of the only schools in the world that has a degree in that. And he got a job. He was the only guy out of there. They had 8 graduates. He was the only one that got a job. It was like 2008, right when everything crashed. So he helped design. He was just a kid. And he helped design the new Ram truck in like 2010. And then they laid off a bunch of people. He ended up moving back to Portland, where he's from. I think he was from Portland, and he works for Nike designing shoes. So it's interesting, but one of the things that's one of the things I like about European cars, and we drive Volvos, and we pretty much always have, is that they just don't change the design so often. American cars seem to change designs so much that they kind of don't have that identity. But a Beamer always looks like a Beamer, and a Mercedes always looks like a Mercedes. I can always, tell Volvo from a mile away. It's interesting. But one of the few American cars that I feel like has kept its identity for a very long time. Because what was the first year of a Corvette? Was that 55? It's like Corvette's almost as long as rock and roll, right? As old as 60 years, 53, looking for a new sports car, blah, 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 blah. So they actually, started at 53, so they predate rock and roll. That's crazy. But if you look at Corvettes almost every year, I'm sure someone's done that, where they've created a slideshow, where you can see all the Corvettes. Oh, interesting, Jeff. Yeah, one of the things I remember, my older sister had a boyfriend. He had a Corvette, and he took me. That was when I was a kid. It was like the fastest I ever was. And so I get in I don't know, I'm probably 14 or so, and I get in his Corvette, and you're practically laying down in that thing. And we were driving up and down Spring Mill Road in Indianapolis, which is a straight road, and it's like half a mile and there's a stop sign, and a half mile is a stop sign. So you got half mile between stop signs, but you've got a driveway, so people could be backing out. No sidewalk on this road. And he got it up to 120 in no time. And you feel that pushing back in your seat bit, and your stomach and all that. But I'm laying practically flat, and all I could think of was, if we crash into a tree, I'm going to be killed by my broken leg bones. They're just going to perforate me. So that was that was. Yeah, McKay, I don't know who told. My friend told me that. Jim told me that, and I'm like, but I went to their website and I saw nothing about that. So I don't know. Maybe that's inside information, because Jim's friend Steve Urkel, collects guitars, and we're all friends. And Steve Urkel, that's his name. I was working on some tracks for where's it? Yeah, I need to put some guitars on this. Yeah. So what do I have here? So it's for a TV show. Seems kind of loud. So yeah, I don't know. Do you know the name Steve Urkel? What was it? Family Matters. So my friend Steve Urkel was, I guess, a production assistant, a PA on Family Matters, or he was working in some way on the show Family Matters. And they had this kid that was like written into the script. He had one episode, and they said, "Oh, can we use your name? Your name's perfect. It'd be a great name for this kid. He's kind of a nerd. It just sounds like a nerd kid." And Steve said, "Sure, you can use my name," because he thought they said it was only going to be one episode, and that Urkel became the star of the show. So now wherever Steve goes, whenever he pulls out his wallet or whatever, he's like, "Yeah, they're just." They're like, "No, that's not your real name." He's like, "Yeah, that's more." He has to tell the story all the time. Let's see. I had that baby over 100 miles between Reno and Vegas. Longest, most boring road. Oh yeah, no kidding. Reno to Vegas? Are you kidding me? I took my coming down the Rockies into Denver. I took my Honda Civic 120, but it was downhill. But it's like it was nothing. It was 2 in the morning. I was stupid. So let's see. I'm gonna lay down a track here, I think. I forgot what I did on bass, so now I have to relearn what I did. I just recorded this right before I went live. Exciting, huh? Yeah, I'm just doing, and I'm basically just doing 16th notes and then squeezing the chord when I want. I'm swinging the 16ths a little bit, so straights would be da 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 da, but I'm kind of giving a little bit of a lilt. The drums are slightly swung. And so I just squeeze when I want. So I'm just playing A7. And then, what did I do though on the bass? There's something there. Okay, I can remember. Change it there. See that? A little bit of change. Lots of edit points for them to cut in and out on video and all that. Let's see. Here we go. So it's the same as the first progression. I'm just going to go to octaves. Totally messed up. What was I thinking? Oh, one. That's what I wanted to do. Again. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go down to thirds of those chords. I like the sound of that. I'll just stick with the 5th. Welcome to my day. But that's not bad. That'll work. And I got the Rhodes up, so I'll probably add some Rhodes. But I'll fix that in when it goes to double time. Anyway, so this is what I do with my life. All right, so where are you all? There you are. You guys are just, I'm just kind of jamming so you guys can chat. That's basically what I'm doing. A day in, yeah, exactly. Let's see, what are we talking about here? Oh yeah, the Australian wilderness is insanity. Well, there's also, I think, what's the are there parts of Montana and South Dakota, North Dakota that don't have speed limits? Am I correct in that? Because it is just literally straight freeways forever and ever and ever. Yeah, I drove across Oklahoma, Texas. It's not called. It's called the Panhandle. What's the part that sticks up? Amarillo. On the way out to California, a long time ago. I haven't driven across the country except that one time. Alligator Alley. I have done that one quite a bit. It is a very boring drive. I remember it wasn't that boring because I remember going with my grandfather, and he would cuss the whole time. Because back in the '60s, because my grandparents retired in Naples, and so we'd fly into Miami, and you'd have to drive to Miami to pick us up. And in the '60s, it was the Tamiami Trail, right? Or the Alligator Alley was also called the Tamiami Trail. But Alligator Alley, it's just one lane each way. So if there was a tractor in front of you, it was like, or, oftentimes there was just something going on that was like really slow. Let's see. Oh, take a pic for this Discord selfie channel. Oh, right. I have to look that up. Is there a specific, should I send a picture or you know what I look like? Where's the Discord? So wait, followers with guitars. Oh, I see. There's Bruce. Oh my gosh. Dennis, that picture I've seen before, Dennis. Okay. Josh, you're so cool. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Jim. What kind of bass is that? It looks like, is that an Ibanez? Jim Lee. Gary, yeah, that's cool, Gary. I love that you're out there playing. Hopefully we can get back out playing gigs and stuff soon. Bonnie, there's your new guitar. Wait, yeah, that's the new one. Yay. That's awesome. Yeah, Diane's got to get on it, She's not doing it. Got to get the selfie going. All right, so let's see. What else are people saying? Edmonton AB to Fort. Yeah. Oh, I imagine there's a lot of Canada that's, holy cow. Except maybe it's not boring if you're like the roads are icy. You're fear for your life every time you hit a black patch of ice or something. Oh, nice. You're getting a Paul Reed Smith SE. Nice. Let's see. Highway 65 in the 70s at 55 took forever. No kidding. Yeah, I remember 65. I mean, I used to take 65 all the time because that went through Indianapolis. But yeah, the 55 mile an hour thing was just ridiculous, and that was a federal law. So that just was like, it's ridiculous, just ridiculous. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to log off. I'm going to finish my track and send it off. I got a lot to do to it, so I got to add a lot of keys and, like I got my. Yeah, I got to figure out some things to do. It'll all, I'll figure it out. Always do. Okay, so you guys take care. And I will see you on Wednesday, hopefully. And we'll do the, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. If you, also, like I said, I'm still working on my beginner lesson thing. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. I'm still like trying to figure out, because I hate to drop 20 videos at once. I'm hoping to make them short. Each lesson is going to have 5 or 4 segments. Let's see, exercise of the day. And that may be, I may do the same exercise. Once I get to a certain level, I'll probably do the same exercise every day, or do variations on it or something like that. And then I will have chord of the day, groove of the day, which again, it'll start out with whole notes, like boom, 2, 3, 4, boom, 2. It'll be that easy. I mean, the chord of the day, the first one's going to be probably E minor. I may even do E minor 7. And then there'll probably be a lot of me saying there won't be a quiz on this in it. And then I'll do a song of the day, which will probably be sometimes just a 2-chord progression or a little lick I made up or something like that. The idea being and so I'm hoping the videos will be all under 15 minutes. And then that way, if you're very, very beginner, if you've got arthritis or you're older and you just can't move as fast, then you could do 1 a week. But some people could probably do 1 an hour if they wanted to, and get through the first 30 lessons in a day. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but they will be over 10 minutes. But I'm going to try to keep them under 20. And if I can kind of I'll do an intro video which will explain what I'm going to do, and then lesson 1. And then from there, it'll be probably called, beginner lesson. I'm not sure what I'm going to call them yet. So streams, just like my streams are under 30 minutes. It's a little easier when I'm filming, though, because I can edit it later. So, but the nice thing about it is I will have a slide for each one of I think that'll actually make it easier for me. So I'll have a slide, chord of the week. Boom, this is the week. I may even put a little sonic fingerprint for each of those. Like, so when the chord of the week comes up, it'll be like bling or whatever. And then I touch my face. The strum or the groove of the week may have a little strum thing or something. And that way, I will be able to kind of stop, and in the same, I won't have to stop the camera. I can just go, okay, let me do this again. And then, because I'll have a slide to break it up with a sonic there. So I think that'll help me, allow me to do a bunch of them in, pretty much in one sitting. I'll probably wear the same shirt. I'm not going to change shirt, it's going to be obvious one. Maybe I'll just wear a black shirt or something like that. Go all Rick Beato, jeans and a black shirt would be probably a safe bet. And then what I can do from there is decide whether or not I'm going to post like 20 or 30 at a time. So I don't know. I hate to do that to my subscribers, because I really feel like if you've got the notifications turned on, or if you've got my, if I'm in your feed on YouTube, that'll be real annoying if I've got like 30 videos just clogging up your feed. But I don't know any other way to do it, unless I put it on some different site or something like that. I could do that. I could embed it somewhere else. I could use YouTube, but not have it post, but just have it, not private, but anyway, I don't think I'll do it that way. I think I'll just put it up on YouTube. I'll create a new channel called like Progressive Lessons, Progressive Basic Guitar Lessons, or something like that. And hopefully I can kind of put everything in the right order so that everybody can get better using them and develop some real skills. Okay. And we'll see. I don't know. It's like, I wonder what lesson 100 is going to look like. I'm not quite sure. I think I've already taught all those. That's the thing. It's the very, very first ones that are going to be tough to do. So, oh, thank you, Leon. I don't know if this was an amazing sessions, but, please check the fourth chords progression on the sheet by flats. Yeah, I will. It will be its own playlist, Dennis. I will have it in its own playlist. So you can go to that, and it'll be in order. So there'll be the intro video, then lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. And I can put them in any order, but I would always put one, and then you just kind of play through them and scroll down and get to the lesson. But yeah, my hope is that, and I may put an ad in it. What I may do is I may put after, because I can put ad breaks in there if it goes over 10 minutes. I may go ahead and put an ad in to try to generate some more revenue from it. If I'm going to do this, it's going to take a lot of my time. So what I may do is like after the first 2 parts of the lesson, then put an ad break in there. And then, so you just click on it after 3 or 4 seconds and then continue with the lesson. But it definitely, yeah, but Diane, you wouldn't love notifications if you got 29 of them in 1 minute from me. You want notifications. Step by Step by Strahle. No, that's not bad. That's not bad, Gary. Yeah. Step by Strahle, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, revenue is good. It's it allows me to kind of justify doing this. I mean, it was cool because my revenue from YouTube was getting really kind of dropping off right as the coronavirus thing hit, and I'm like, well, this is a bad time for revenue to drop off because it's hard to work. It's hard to do live stuff, and everything's kind of falling by the wayside. So I really started. That's why I started doing the daily lessons, because I figured I wasn't the only one sitting around doing nothing. So anyway, the only notification. Oh, that's nice. Let's see. Make sure you have a YouTube can notify playlists by themselves. Oh, not sure if YouTube can notify playlists by. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. You might be. That's right. You might be able to turn off notifications for that playlist. What I would do too is I would very likely tell you, okay, tomorrow I'm going to drop these, so turn off notifications for 48 hours, kind of thing. Otherwise, I don't want you to be bombarded. But it still will clog up people's feed, and that's where I'll lose subscribers. Because, like I said, when I dropped 10 of those, which I think is a really good series that I started, but haven't gone anywhere with it in a while, the business of making music. When I did that, I dropped 10 at once because I figured, people are going to want to binge watch these like Netflix. So I recorded 10 of them, and then I dropped 10, and I lost like 25, 30 subscribers like that day, because they were just, I think, pissed because it didn't interest them. They're like, why did I follow him? He's like bombarding me. So that's kind of what we're going to do. But anyway, hasta luego. See you miércoles. Hasta miércoles. Yeah, I appreciate that. I know you guys get ads on the live stream too. I was showing it to someone yesterday, and I got an ad right at the top. I was like, oh yeah, that's what you guys experience. I didn't realize that. But that's fine. And then, yeah, the playlist thing will work. I can do that. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I think I'm formulating a plan right now. I think I'm up to lesson 10 as far as ideas, and then I'm kind of peppered ideas. I'm creating a spreadsheet. So here's what here's the exercise. Here's the chord of the day. Here's the groove of the day. And again, I'm keeping it super simple. But I'm also going to put notation in. That's what's going to take me a long time because I have to create the notations. And when I create the notation, that is what takes a while. But the nice thing about the notation is I want people to start to read music or tab. I'll probably do both. So I'll do like, here's the lick or whatever, here's the exercise, and I'll write it out in music notation, and the tab will be there as well. And I can reference that when I'm teaching a lesson. I'll say, hey, look at this. And so eventually the idea is to help people learn how to read music without even realizing they're doing it. All right? So you know how I am about that. So, okay. Oh, on which Apple program? On Logic? Yeah, Logic's great, but it's only, I know I say only, but it's $200. And Drummer is what I'm using for the drums. So those drums you're hearing, those are... And I can even make the drummer follow the bass. So I can make the drummer, it has multiple patterns, but I can say, instead of creating a pattern, I can make it follow any channel. So if I did something on guitar that was like the main feel, then I can make it follow. And it'll even, if I'm a little late on a bass note or whatever, it'll be late. The kick will line up with it. It's pretty darn cool. I'm pretty impressed with Drummer, and I use it all the time for TV stuff. So I wouldn't make any money if I had to hire a drummer for every track I do. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll pick this up on Wednesday. Okay? Bye-bye.